Polls have closed and vote counting has begun in Zimbabwe's historic election, the first since the fall of Robert Mugabe.
And the voter turnout was high in an election that pitted 75-year-old President Emmerson Mnangagwa against main opposition leader Nelson Chamisa. And the 40-year-old Chamisa has called the election a choice between Zimbabwe's past and the future.
And final election results are expected within 5 days. But 40-year-old Chamisa alleged voter suppression, and his party vowed to protest if the election is flawed. Of course, Charles Ideho is still very much with us in the studio here. For you, Charles, what exactly is the high point of this historic election? A Mugabe-free election, a 40-year-old who is running for the election, or a 75-year-old? Like you said, it's a choice between the past and the future.
I think the high point for me personally is about whether the people of Zimbabwe are ready to depart from the path of gerontocracy, if you understand what I mean by the government ruled by the agent. We've had Mugabe there from 1980 when the Benin came to them. He also fought for that. Then from him, he was there for about 37 years, or so nearly how many? About 4 decades.
Almost 4 decades.
Before his former deputy, who left, who was also the former chief, security chief also was there, now came in, using the military to oust Mugabe in a bloodless coup d'etat. So the man is there now, and then how is he 75? So he's been seen as he is like a continuation of the gerontocracy in Zimbabwe. Then you are having somebody who is now 40, whose mates have, most of his mates have not even tasted election before. So they are saying they are going to be participating for the first. That's why you have that the voter turnout about 75%.
Very high.
I mean, unprecedented. And then you also have, even for now, after about 5 million registered voters, you have over half of them from the youth.
Below 35.
So, and the youth are saying now it is time for us to leave gerontocracy and move with the world. They are talking about France, talking about how you have about 40-year-old man in France. You're talking about Canada. You have the Tradio there. You have even the woman in Australia, New Zealand. So they want to move out of gerontocracy and look for how the youth can take them out of the door.
I guess they must have also been inspired by the Croatian celebrity president.
Exactly.
No, but if we look at Zimbabwe in true terms, do you think that Zimbabwe is ripe to start? Because they have been held down by a certain kind of, by one rulership or dictatorship, however way you see it, for the past 30, almost 40 years.
That's right.
Do you think this is the right time to even talk about the issue of whether the president is young or old, rather than talking about the real things that economic, like social issues, economic things that Zimbabweans have been deprived for a very long time?
Well, you really can't take it away from those who are looking for a generation shift. I also am of that school, that Zimbabwe has to toy with that for maybe a term or two, because they have been complaining about the older you become in Zimbabwe, the more senile you are in terms of policies, the more senile you are in terms of politics, the more senile you are in terms of progressive ideas. So, and this man is also a lawyer. He's a pastor, and then he has technology background. So I think Zimbabwe needs to toy with the idea of useful leadership, because the world is going youthful. So, and then he can, when he gets to the UN, for instance, I mean, he sees men who are young and so on, you'll be able to look at how he can engage them. For instance, I mean, the man, Chamisa has been on Twitter, like our man in the US. So, but what's his name? Nagagwa. He speaks to you.
He's still the old school.
He's still the old school. Analog
against digital. So that's why I think that as we speak, Zimbabwe need to toy.
But
that's
why I think it's going to take several administrations or dispensations.
Yeah, because
for them to
even right now.
Exactly.
Right now, there was one 67-year-old woman that was interviewed who cast a vote, I think about Bulawayo also. The woman said, no, I'm not ready for any young boy. Because you find that the ZANU-PF, the woman, as I said, 67-year-old, so they're not ready for a youth for now, because they've been used to this.
It's become a comfort zone
exactly for them. So for them to not say, oh, because it's the baby coming to come and rule over, no, come on.
And speaking of the ZANU-PF, I mean,
yes.
you had a Mugabe give that press conference
yes.
saying to the world, I will not vote for ZANU-PF. He will not vote for his own
party.
Yes, he
for
said
his
he was
own,
going to. He was even accused by
party.
Nangagwa that he's even forming an alliance with MDC. But he said, what Mugabe said is that how can he vote for a party that took away his property, in quote.
Meanwhile, the EU has said, as far as the conduct of this election is concerned, they're not really able to come out and say clearly if everything that should, you know, be the hallmark of free, fair, and credible election, you know, that they can actually say yes.
Well, exactly. But in terms of security, is far better than the past. You remember the one that happened in 2008? I mean, 2008. That led to the runoff, that led to a lot of lives being lost, that now gave rise to the unity government of Morgan Tsvangirai. Exactly. But here, in terms of security, they've done well. But the problem was the delay. I mean, a lot of young women left the queue because they were, and you even found people voting with torchlights and then the mobile phones. Yeah. So, which means that the delay actually cost that. A lot of people were even tired. People who were very enthusiastic about voting for the very first time, when it got there, they were delaying, and then people say,
but from all indication, it looks like this is going to be a very close race.
No, it's close. It's quite close. But my fear is that Chamisa is talking too much. He's already claiming victory.
Yes, he
even
is.
as he was casting his vote, he was claiming victory. So, which means that even if for instance, the victory swings the ZANU-PF's way, they might contest it. And
yeah, that was the question he was asked. He was asked that question, if this election goes the way of Nangagwa, what will your MDC do?
Because already saying that what he's witnessing is a ballot mischief. That's according to Chamisa. So, but I think whatever happens, Zimbabwe is still one. Very educated people.
80%?
80%.
So very literate people.
They should bring that to bear in their conduct. If Nangagwa wins, this guy, he still has age in his, I mean, he's a member of parliament. He was Minister of Information, Technology, and so I think he still has age in his. Let him also learn. But if victory swings his way, I mean, I personally will applaud because there's generation shift. Yeah.
Well, it's good for him to try. There's still, even if he doesn't win, it's not in our place to say he hasn't won, he has won. But he can take cue from Liberia.
Liberia was there, he was defeated, and then he went back, he went back to learn, and then he went to the Senate, and today now he's the president.
But what will be the ultimate, or what should be the ultimate priority of whoever becomes president when it comes to taking the country forward?
Well, first of all, they need to look at the economy. The economy has been bastardized over time. Then the issue of being ostracized from world politics, they also have to think about it. Even though I know that Nangagwa has been doing that, he's been parleying with the farmers, you know, the farmers
the white farmers.
So he's been parleying. He also has been reaching out, trying to get investment to Zimbabwe. So
and some investments have been coming in.
Exactly. So what the uppermost thing they should be talking about is how to grow the economy, because the Zimbabweans are suffering, where the economy is the Zimbabwe dollar is almost worthless. So I think that should be the focus. Whoever wins, the economy and the welfare of the people should be uppermost in their thinking.
Hopefully Zimbabwe can regain its position as a food basket of Southern Africa.
Southern Africa, exactly. That's right.
Thank you very much, Charles.
Thank you.